My name's Jane Pullam, and I specialize in myofascial release. 10, 11 years ago, I was working with someone who was schooled by John Barnes, and he did myofascial release in the style of John Barnes. And what I was noticing with my massage practice was that people we could get them temporary relief, but we just couldn't get them over the hump. We couldn't get them feeling better. We couldn't get them beyond their problem. This person I worked with, people were coming in saying how myofascial release changed their life. They had something for 20 years. It was bothering them, and suddenly it's lifted. They're no longer in pain. He gave them their life back. So I thought, I got to go learn this. And what I found is that myofascial release is so effective, far more effective for me in my experience than massage was, because we're actually getting to the source of the issue. So fascia, at its very base, is a liquid crystalline filled tubercle that conducts messages through every single cell. It's connected like one big web. Anytime there's an impact to that fascia goes from being nice and open and able to conduct messages to being shut down like a straitjacket. Fascia only braces more when you do that. So what it responds to is sinking into the barrier over the course of 2 or 3 minutes, waiting at the barrier for it to open, and moving with it as it moves. So the first release, that's not the one we're going for, and that's all massage ever got to. That's the elastin component of the tissues. And we want to get to the collagen component of the tissues, because that's the source of our problem. That's what shut down when we were injured. So imagine this sheet is 3-dimensional, and it represents our bodies, right? There's an incoming force at some point in time in our life, and that fascia has shut down. So now what we're dealing with is an area that's no longer moving. Nothing's getting into the cells, nothing's getting out of the cells. When it's like this, it can put up to 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's running through nerves. It runs through every single cell, runs through every organ. Then they back up. So if you were to be able to dissolve our cells and just show the fascia, we would appear in our same shape, but in a 3-dimensional webbing. And you would be able to see so much clearer that if I took part of my fascia and I shut it down, how it affects everything, every single thing. So now back to this. This fascia is shut down. Now this may represent one injury that you had 10 years ago, who knows? When you were 5 years old, maybe you hurt your ankle. So didn't think anything of it, limped for a couple days, got better, thought nothing of it. Every once in a while when it rains, you feel it. Now I'm here and I'm looking for what's not moving, and what's tissue that's hard, that's not moving, tender or hot. And if I were doing massage, I would be coming in with lotion and I would be gliding over this area. And you can see how it might make a difference in the depth barrier, in that it flattened, but it really didn't make a difference in the entire problem. The problem's still here. So what really needs to happen is to come in on either side over the course of 5-6 minutes, never forcing, just waiting at the barrier, opening up the fascia like that. Now, when we do that, and say this was your low back. I'm up at your low back. Suddenly you feel it go down to your ankle. Well, that's weird. Why is it going down there? Because there is a direct connection, a snag. Think of pantyhose. There's a snag, or actually think of a sweater. Pull one of the threads in your sweater and you'll see the whole sweater shorten. So there's a snag between your ankle that was injured when you were 5 and your low back. And that could have been the source of what was going on here. So this gets down to what's not moving in your body. And whatever is not moving in your body is what's causing your pain. Now, fascia and bone, everything is subject, muscle and bone, everything is subject to what the fascia will allow. The fascia dictates how the muscle moves and how our limbs move. The muscles do not. So it's just far more important than we ever realized. Now, imagine if it shut down for a while over, let's say, a knee joint, right? That fascia is shut down. Over the course of however many months or years, perhaps, it's pulling that knee joint together like that, and it's grinding everything. So that person develops a knee issue when perhaps that started when you were 5 years old. We don't know. But if we can open up the fascia before the knee degenerates, we can prevent that altogether. Even after the knee has degenerated, the joint has actually degenerated, we can still create space in that knee joint and open up. Perhaps we can't go back to the way it was, but we can create space, and that can create relief. Same thing with your discs. When the vertebrae are being pulled together because the fascia is running through the entire system and it might be shut down there, it's pulling vertebrae together, and the discs are the casualty because they get squished in between. I have my own practice, Wellness by Jane in Jenkintown, and I was just asked to come to CAMA,